I'm going to play videos for you that genuinely make me sad. Yes, they are of the Mango Menace. Yes, he seems impotent and disoriented and confused. But I do not remember ever of any of the presidents that I have covered, and this includes Trump's first term, a moment at which I realized, wow, this guy has surrendered. He has given up. And in these videos, you will see Donald Trump completely surrender to Vladimir Putin. It's happened before and it's happened again. Trump's enamored with these authoritarian dictators. And after Trump met with Putin during his first term, he came out and he was just so impressed. You could see he had stars in his eyes. Putin, I believe him. Why would he lie? He said things so strongly. He's so rich. He's so handsome. Okay, maybe the last two I'm ad-libbing. This was a phone call that took place between Putin and Trump. Trump comes out of it and he's giving Putin everything. He's saying, I don't know that Ukraine is going to get any of its land back. This was a bad idea for Ukraine to get into this war. Wait, Ukraine was the one that was attacked. He is surrendering foreign policy to Putin. Trump implies in this first clip that since Russia has been fighting for illegally contested land, that maybe they should get to keep some of it.
Do you see any future in which Ukraine returns to its pre-2014 borders?
Well, I think Pete said today that that's unlikely, right? It certainly would seem to be unlikely. They took a lot of land and they fought for that land and they lost a lot of soldiers, but it would just seem to me, and I'm not making an opinion on it, but I've read a lot on it, and a lot of people think that that's unlikely.
You know it's a lie because Trump doesn't read. But what Trump is arguing here is forget about the fact that Russia's invasion of Ukraine was illegal and that they are the aggressors and they are trying to take land by force. Forget about all of that. A bunch of Russian soldiers died, and it seems as though Russia is just going to end up keeping some of that land that they illegally attempted to take by force. What? Thanks, Vlad, right? It's a total surrender. Trump requires doormat loyalty of his staff. Trump's laying down and being the doormat for Putin to walk all over. A reporter asks Trump, do you view Ukraine as an equal member of this process? And Trump goes, Ukraine shouldn't have gotten into this war.
Do you expect Ukraine?
Say it, what?
Do you view Ukraine as an equal member of this peace process?
It's an interesting question.
Not really.
I think they have to make peace. Their people are being killed, and I think they have to make peace.
We will continue.
I said that was not a good war to go into, and I think they have to make peace. That's what I think.
It wasn't a good war for Ukraine to go into. Russia attacked Ukraine. And Trump is asked, is Ukraine on a level playing field as a negotiating party here with Russia? Trump goes, I don't know, that's difficult, but this was a bad idea for Ukraine. Ukraine chose to be attacked by the wrong people. Blame the victim is what this is. Trump then says, Putin wants peace. Putin wants peace. What a nice guy. Huh?
Do that, then Putin would say he won. We're the thing that's holding it back. And frankly, we'll go as long as we have to go because we're not going to let the other happen. But President Putin wants to have peace now, and that's good. And he didn't want to have peace with Biden.
Was that conversation with Putin?
And you tell
Yeah. Oh, man, this is going to be really bad. I mean, this is a global humiliation. I don't know that I have ever seen a president just totally, whatever you want, Vlad, just whatever you want. What do you want me to say? And of course, reporters noticing that indeed, it seems as though Putin is getting the privileged position with Trump in this situation, despite being the aggressor. A reporter said, aren't you squeezing out Ukrainian President Zelensky from this process? And Trump goes, no, and also, he should hold an election, sort of implying maybe he won't even be part of this process long term.
you freezing out President Zelensky of this process a bit? Isn't there a danger of that?
No, I don't think so, as long as he's there. But, at some point, you're going to have elections, too. You're going to have an election.
Trump is indeed freezing out Zelensky, and he is going to let Russia decide what happens with Ukraine. And you know what? Trump says, I think I'm going to meet with Putin in Saudi Arabia. And so it will be Trump, aggressor Putin, and Saudi Arabia who will get to decide what does happen with Ukraine.
Dealing with President Putin largely on the phone, and we ultimately expect to meet. In fact, we expect that he'll come here and I'll go there, and we're going to meet also probably in Saudi Arabia. The first time we'll meet in Saudi Arabia, see if we can get something done. But we want to end that war. That war is a disaster.
What a great idea. So we're building up to the totality of the wish list here. Trump says Ukraine is maybe just going to have to give up some of that land that Russia took. We are not only going to keep talking to Putin, but we might even talk to Putin in Saudi Arabia, screw Zelensky. And then finally, another Putin wish list item. What about NATO membership for Ukraine? Trump says, nah, that doesn't seem good.
Can you oppose NATO membership for Ukraine?
I don't think it's practical to have it, personally. I know that a new Secretary of Defense, who's excellent, Pete, made a statement today saying that he thinks it's unlikely or impractical. I think probably that's true. I think long before President Putin, they said there's no way they'd allow that.
Yeah. So, translation, Vladimir would be very upset with me if I said it's okay for Ukraine to be a NATO member if that's the way the process goes, if that's the way the voting goes. This is total surrender to Putin. Forget about the Mueller stuff. Forget about the Russia probe. Forget about everything from before and during the first term. This series of statements from Trump alone is a level of surrender, impotent surrender to an authoritarian foreign leader that I've never covered in my entire time doing this. And by the way, Trump also got so confused at this event that he left without even swearing in Tulsi Gabbard. Let me talk about that. Winter is the perfect time to cozy up at home with some freshly baked treats like flaky pastries, hearty breads, comforting pastas, and you can do it without any effort. Our sponsor, Wild Grain, is the first bake from frozen subscription box for artisanal breads, pastries, and pastas. Wild Grain simply takes the hassle out of baking. Everything bakes from frozen in 25 minutes or less. No mess or cleanup. Your family will be amazed, thinking you've become a master bread baker all of a sudden. My favorite is the croissants. You throw them in the oven, 25 minutes. Wow. If you're ready to bring all your favorite breads, pastas, and pastries right to your doorstep, check out Wild Grain. You can build your box of artisanal pastries, breads, and everything right now. And for a limited time, Wild Grain will give my audience $30 off your first box plus free croissants in every box when you go to wildgrain.com/Pacman to start your subscription. Free croissants in every box and $30 off your first box. The link is in the description.